Because this, you've got to understand, right, this workshop stroke book launch, like unique, like this is my first time ever in front of like real live human poor people. And boom!
Dani Rehearsal, the world's greatest transformational coach in the UK, is preparing for the event of a lifetime, the global launch of his very first book, Real World Potency. To build awareness, Dani has embarked on an exhaustive battery of social media appearances, been interviewed live on the radio, and even leafleted the streets in disguise. But will it all pay off, or will Dani come unstuck?
What's the matter with people? John is who exactly?
Your musical director.
You mean Peter? Oh, no, you do mean John. And then the crowd go crazy.
Dani is rehearsing with his musical director John Bezic, but with only 1 week to go before the book launch, tensions are starting to show.
It did get a little bit tense in the room, I have to admit that.
What is the problem? Like, seriously, what's the problem? You give that man one note, right, a single note, and perhaps a crotchet, he'll write you a concerto, right? You give him a fucking laptop, he'll ruin your life. He's just useless. Well, that's really difficult, isn't it? Because that's the opening. Like, you have ever heard that song, It's Not How You Start, It's How You Finish? Have you heard that song? No. You have? And you're a musical theatre person. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. That one. Have you heard that one?
No.
Yeah. Okay, well then you've heard it now because I just told you. But anyway, it's bullshit. It's all about how you start. Yeah. And the difficulty that we've got, I'm sorry to be heavy, Peter, but if you do that, yeah, I'm dead in the water.
I know.
So don't do it, mate. Can we do it again?
Yeah.
Right. Fuck's sake.
Yes, Dani can actually be quite rude at times, and people have commented to me about that. You know, it can be quite challenging working with him, but I think that's all part of the way that Dani is, and actually that's what makes you a better person.
No. The stings are going to happen in the workshop.
Oh, the stings.
Yeah. Right, that's when they are.
Every now and then, certain stings they would take a split seconds to happen. So by the time you've got a combination of me trying to find where it is and then it starting a split second later, it was just getting too late.
Yeah. Right, so for example, right, let's just try this. If I surprised you, right, let's see what happens. Sting me! Sting me! It's too long. I know. The moment's gone. Fucking hell.
We had these embarrassing pauses and the whole thing sagged. Yeah, so I had to get my head around that.
Sting me! Brilliant. Because it keeps the energy going, Peter.
Just keep the energy. Yes, Dani does keep getting my name wrong. I believe it's because he has this condition, which I can't remember the name of, non-clementary radicus. Dani always calls me Peter.
Right, quick question, Peter.
John.
Yes.
But actually, that's fine. It's all part of who Dani is. And it's, you know, in some ways, if he did get my name right, it wouldn't feel right.
The problem with Peter.
John.
Whatever, right? Him, you ask me a question, he stops breathing, he stops thinking, and everything comes to an utter halt. Right, tell me 3 amazing things about you.
I didn't even realise that I stopped breathing.
I've got 2 wonderful kids.
2 wonderful kids.
Conducted Les Mis.
Conducted Les Mis.
And
fucking hell, forget it. And that was the dilemma. So what you can't see in the footage is that we actually did a 2.5-hour workshop on being able to inhale and exhale through the nose, the mouth and the rectum, because you can do it, but it's like a martial art thing and it takes time. So this whole thing about the receiving aperture, right? Because there's not just one use for your rectum. Let's be grown up about it. Let's be childish, right? It's 2-way traffic actually. Yeah, there's doing the loo, okay, but then there's receiving the power from the core of the earth, right? But then as well, there's exhaling through your bottom, and that's what I helped him to do, soundlessly, yeah, because he's a professional. He's in an orchestra pit. He don't want to make unwelcome noises. Right.
As part of his press junkets, Dani has been invited to appear on Decorum Radio with local radio legend Nigel Osland.
When I interviewed Dani, I didn't know what to expect because he came in and he was very polite at the start.
Can I call you Nige?
No.
No, that's perfectly fine. I'll just make a note of that as well. Difficult.
Once we got talking, I could tell that there were issues that were on his mind. There were places I didn't want to go because I was worried about the kind of response I was going to get.
You have a strange taste in music, if you don't mind me saying.
I do, actually. I do mind you saying that,
I thought you said
actually.
you do agree with me. And actually, I had to tell him off about the swearing as well.
Oh, fucking hell. We're not on air, are we?
And if you see the videos, you'll see that he swears like a trooper, that guy, off air.
Fucking wanker. Bloody twat. Arsehole.
We had Gregory Duncan phone in.
Hi, caller, how are you?
And Gregory Duncan is, I would say, the nemesis of Dani. And they were sparks flying in that radio interview.
And then as soon as I started asking him any difficult questions, he asked me to leave.
And again, we had to cut it short in the end because I think Dani was about to lose it and walk out or do something.
So I think this is a good time to say goodbye, really.
There's never a good time to say goodbye to you, Nigel.
It was a whirlwind of an experience, I would say.
It's been a good day for Dani. Yes, I use song. Yes, I use lyrics. And I tell people about my philosophy in my words of my songs. Great day for Dani, what man do? I think the thing to tell you about the songwriting process is I've always found it very, very easy because my dad wrote, this is controversial as well, like lawyers, my life has been beset by legal wrangles over Save Your Kisses for Me because he actually wrote it and they stole it. Brotherhood of Man, and then they sang it in the Eurovision and then they won it and he got nothing. But the songwriting process takes me 2 minutes, right? And I think that comes through in the quality of the actual composition.
With the book written and rehearsals complete, there is only one question left for Dani. Will the book launch be a triumph or a disaster?
Can we, just for a second? Brilliant, thanks very much for that. How's my hair looking, by the way?